just thinking like the next time you see me, I'm like, hello. You're like, what is going on? Oh, I've changed quite a bit since that last time we met. Oh, yes.
Take the stool off. Okay, 1 second.
Like, well, it only took once, huh?
Like you can.
Awkward faces the whole time.
That's the plan. That's the fucking plan. I think that's light
I
enough.
don't want to be like sweating profusely too while we're doing this.
I need to make it as inhabitable and like hospitable as in here as possible.
Mm-hmm.
To like, yeah, let's get that guy. Greg just came over to hang out, and we were just like, let's just record a podcast. We were talking about
permaculture and growing food.
Oh yeah, we were talking about hippie shit.
Ooh, that wasn't a fart, by the way. It was a stool. Just letting you know. The whole time, it's just going to be this.
It's a horrible noise. Dude, I hate that I just thought of, I hate when I just thought of something and then I fucking blanked it.
It was my bad.
No, it wasn't.
It was the fart noise.
It wasn't.
That always kills the pace of a conversation.
I fart on this podcast. I never have to. Except for I won't when you're here because I think that's rude. But I just think it's
natural. It's okay.
it's okay to fart.
If you need to fart.
Okay. This is... I remember what I was going to talk about. I remember what I wanted to bring up. But before we get to that, we were talking about a joke in high school, or in junior high actually, where they go like, how do you know it's a gay bar? The stools are all upside down. Because if you don't know, on thrones for drummers...
Drum thrones. There, it was...
Look... This is actually getting sexual now. He almost sat on that.
I almost sat on that.
Okay,
I almost had a rectal issue.
That's where I'm going to leave. That's what we were talking about, laughing about. But, so, what I wanted to bring up. So, the theme song of my podcast is, hey there everybody in the World Wide Web. Welcome to my podcast. Music, movies, comedy, eating ass. Welcome to my podcast.
Awesome.
So... I was at my friend's house like yesterday or 2 days ago.
Am I too close?
No, this is perfect. I just wanted to actually
Should
talk
be closer
to
to the wall.
Like, this is. What am I knocking over?
I'm sorry, I'm throwing.
Sometimes there's shit over here, and I don't know. Like my dog is shit. Like, and I don't know it because it's the same. My carpet's the same color as shit. So it's like I can't tell.
Oh, that was the 70s. You know?
That was the 70s. People
all the way up 70s up to like the early 90s was shit carpet.
Shit carpet.
That was pretty.
People were shitting everywhere. Can I hit that? I just don't know. I'm gonna get a little more stoned right now.
I'm getting you off subject again, but you're
No.
talking about your
friend's house. Podcast. I was at my friend's house, and someone like brought up eating ass, and I was just like, "Yeah, I've done it." And they were all like, "You've done it?" I was like, "Yeah, like every fucking girl I've ever fucking been with, pretty much." And they're all, "Really? You've done that? Like they let you do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, like every fucking girl." And it was me and 3 other guys, and none of them had done it, even tried it. And I was the only one who'd done it, but I've done it with like every. So I was just like, "Is this actually?" I thought it was something we didn't talk about.
Seems a bit taboo, I guess.
You know, but I didn't think it was a thing where like we didn't do it. I thought like people ate ass. Like it's right by the vagina. It's right there.
It's within the range that you could just accidentally go, oh,
exactly.
I continue that.
My neck, my back, lick my pussy, and my crack. That's that song.
The question is, sorry.
Have you eaten ass?
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't?
I haven't.
Okay, what were you going to say?
But that was my.
The question is what?
It was going to be like a medical question. do you like prepare before you do this? Because I mean, like, I know like pink eye's an issue and things like that. But if you're eating ass, and
I've never like at
sick
least
afterwards or
at least like put 2 and 2 together. Like it's like, man, I had really bad diarrhea for. I was throwing up. I had the stomach flu for months.
Or what if like the the girl in question, she had Taco Bell just a few hours earlier, had some diarrhea, didn't clean up all the way. I mean, what do you do in that situation? I mean, you don't go all the way, right? You don't.
I mean,
commit?
I never. It's never. I don't know. I've never gotten sick from it, but it's never been a gross situation. Yeah. Oh, gross. It's never been like smelly or weird.
Well, you've been with very classy ladies, so yeah, you're not picking up like crackheads.
Yeah, and there's usually showers.
Okay, so yeah,
dude, I would lick a crackhead's ass. That's fine.
So you're saying there's a pre-shower game?
Not always.
Not always.
Not always. But I think there's like a lot of times doing it in the shower or. I've just always done it. And girls always make like this like not noise, but like a squeal, like a oh. They give like this thing, and anyways, and I guess that's rare. I guess it's rarer than I thought. But you know what?
People aren't copying to it. Maybe it's actually not that rare.
Well, I dated a girl who didn't like it, and she would like not want to do it, and I'd be like, "Come on!"
She's like, "This happens to me all the time." She's like, "Really?"
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But no, but she didn't, and so she would just like compromise. She'd be like, "We'll do it in the shower," and I was like, "No." There you go. So, I mean, everyone's got their things. It's one of my things, but I've never had. I mean, yeah, it's definitely been after a shower. But I mean, I've been drunk and just done it before. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's just happened. And, but I think a girl, if she was like having issues down there, you'd be able to tell.
Yeah.
But one, like because it's so close anyway, her shit's probably clean anyway.
True.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
Like she probably has that whole area. Like she's not like. It's not like a disaster zone. Like you're gonna go down, like eat her out, and then like hope he doesn't look at my asshole. It's like we're gonna see your asshole,
pretty much.
So okay,
definitely wherever it's positioned that said asshole.
69.
Yeah,
you see an asshole. That's like all.
It's right on the nose.
It's right on the nose,
right
dude.
On the nose.
So it.
Well, that was a good starter.
I was like, I knew there was something I wanted to talk about.
Good times. So how you been?
I've been really good, man. I don't know. I had like a cold. I was really bitchy and in a bad mood during that, and it's like twofold because I can't work out, and like I'm really used to working out right now, and it's just like a stress reliever. It really is just like a thing where like it makes me feel like. Not the Hulk.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, it's one of those...
You can tell you look good.
Oh, thanks, man. Same. So do you, dude.
I'm still flabby.
You are not, dude. You totally lost weight. You totally have.
Oh, thanks. Slowly but surely. And I'm also trying to lose it a little bit slower
dude.
than I have in the past because I am trying to not get as loose skin like I did the first time I lost a bunch of weight. It's...
Dude, and the more... There's like a concept like... this is recording, right? Okay.
I think so.
Like a finite there's this concept like called finite changes equal infinite gains, and it's really true, you know. And I think I don't know who it is. It's one of like the Robert Anton Wilson. But as a trim tab, the thing on the back of the boat, like it takes a really long time to move a boat. And I feel like the times I've really been like, all right, I'm doing P90X every fucking day. I'm doing Insanity every day. And I'm going to not eat this. And I'm going to do that. Like, I might have had a month that I did that.
Yeah.
But if I'm not going to do it for my whole life, or at least like for a couple years, or really integrate it, if you can't integrate a diet, it's not worth doing. So I think that is the right way to do it, where it's like a little bit at a time.
For sure. I guess I could say that too, like you're like learning a new skill or trying to do something artistic, even if you're doing like 10 minutes a day, or that's infinitely more progress than you just kind of like not doing that, like doing like 30 minutes every once in a while, or I get that. That's smart.
No, it's so true, man. That's a good point about the art and stuff. How it never. Dude, there's such fucking cool shit. Man, I just read this book called Taran Wanderer. I think it's Taran. But it's like The Chronicles of Prydain. It's volume 4, and it's like a fantasy series. But like, hold on, there's some fucking shit about making. Not so. Craftsmanship isn't like water in an earthen pot to be taken out by the dripful until it's empty. No, the more drown out, the more remains. The heart renews itself, wanderer, and skill grows all the better for it. Here then your hands thus, your thumbs thus. He's like making pottery. He's like learning from this like master potter. But it's like such a cool concept too, and it's like the same idea of like Ouroboros. Like a snake eating its own tail. It's like art is like a thing that, and I think working out too, it's like if you build up your muscle and it's like even if say you stop and you fuck up or whatever, it's way easy to get that muscle back because your body like knows again. And it's way easier to get like overweight again if you've been overweight. Like your body's like done that stuff. But it's sort of this, I mean, I don't know, I like the art metaphor and just also just like fucking, it never goes away. Like whatever you work on, you know, it's like riding a bike, you know, you just have to get like back and then the practice. And
true fucking that.
but making art's the fucking best, man. That's the best shit.
It's probably the thing that keeps all civilization from completely crashing, you know. I mean in all art forms, not in all mediums, because if we're not doing that, we're just kind of like being insect-like, probably.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of takes all the color out of life. So, we'd just all be in cubicles in like weird pseudo-anime reality. Somewhere between that and like Black Mirror, probably, you know.
I still haven't seen that. That's episodic, right? Every episode. There's another show that's like that too, right?
There's a few now. They're doing that with...
That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like... I mean, there's a return to a short form sci-fi horror genre coming back, you know, like Twilight Zone and...
Well, that was on Netflix, and same with like Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and like you just see like that's pretty much as good as anything.
Yeah.
Like anything you could ever watch, like some of it is as good as anything you watch. It's dated. I mean, obviously all old movies are dated, you know?
Yeah, we do. the progression of film has definitely gained speed, you know, like how stories are established with shots and everything are just like much quicker now, and I don't know, less information, I guess. They're memeing it, I guess. They're memeing film now, but yeah. Like I saw something about progression shots and like where the first pan shots were starting to be introduced like earlier when they're shooting film, and how those changed cinema because it was a new dimension to do storytelling without any like dialogue or any action, just having the camera move and let you know things are going. No, I don't know why I'm talking about that.
No,
that's not that interesting.
It is, dude. I love talking about movies. Movies, music is part of the deal.
Indeed.
You know, that's one of the things I love to talk about.
Speaking of which, did you see the Dark Tower trailer?
No, but I haven't read the book, so I should probably read the books, right? But it's...
I don't know. I mean, I'll probably see the movie before I see or read the book.
I've only read one Stephen King book, and it's his book about writing. It's like, dude, you've read a lot of books, so I'm going to trust you. I'm not going to rate them. They're probably... Some of them are probably pretty good.
And then in that book was the part where he made fuck, what was the name of that movie? Maximum Overdrive. Was that so in the 70s, no, sorry, 80s, he made this movie called Maximum Overdrive of Emilio Estevez, and it's completely whacked. You should check it out.
Dude, I'll watch
It's
anything with Emilio in it, dude.
It was basically about like electronics and just machinery in general gain sentience and just murdering everyone. Like that's like the apocalypse, I guess. And but basically the whole time he was making this film, and he directed it too. He wrote and directed his first movie. I don't think he's directed anything since then, but there's a good reason why. That movie is a fucking mess. He was on a shit ton of cocaine. He says he didn't even remember like making it. Pretty much, that's how much cocaine he was on. But you could tell.
I never knew he made a movie.
Yeah, it's. I don't think he doesn't want anyone really to know he made that movie. Emilio Estevez as well. He probably doesn't like. But it's good for some aspects, like for bad stuff. But yeah,
He says that about. I think he just says that whenever like people don't like it, something that much. He's like, I don't even remember it. I was on cocaine.
Yeah, he's like, okay.
Because I already said that about, maybe it's probably true. He said that about Cujo too.
Oh,
He's like, I just woke up and there was a movie, there was a book called Cujo. But it's really funny that, I mean, a cool story in that book on writing is like, he had written Carrie and then thrown it away, and his wife picked it up out of the trash and read it. And was like, why'd you throw this away? He's like, it's shit. And she's like, send it to a publisher. And then he did, and that was his first book that ever got published.
Oh, wow.
It was like in the trash, so.
Trash novel became a successful movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's the moral of the story. Never give up on trash novel.
Yeah.
It could be your winner. Maybe.
Whatever you hate the most, people will like the most.
Do you think that's what Harry Potter was? That was just like a trash novel she like threw in there and said, oh, this is pretty good actually. Are you sure? I don't know, fucking wizards and whatever. Seems stupid.
Or he knew it was great and like threw it away and had like a note like, do not read book in trash. Whatever you do. And she's like, I will do that.
Reverse psychology kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, one time. Yeah, never mind. I'm not even gonna tell that story, but it's you don't tell people not to do stuff. All it means is that they want to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, don't do that.
That is part of the human animal. Brilliant though. It needs to be there. We need to. Anytime we're told not to go to those bounds, I see the edge of the board, Dad. I'm fucking going.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. I mean, like progress and rebellion and. I mean, I don't know whose quote it is, but there's like some philosopher, but he's like, resignation is death, revolt is life. And it's like, I love that. It's like some anarchist dude, but.
It was like a real person?
Yeah, and he was just like, and I love that idea, like, revolt is life, like revolting against what's like normal, and it's. Obviously it's like, it's weird, like Kendrick Lamar's album's out, and it's like, it's a really great album, but it's also really famous, but it's like this thing where, but most of the time society's wrong, but a lot of times I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm fucking saying. Revolt is life is a cool fucking, like that's what I think about sometimes when I'm being lazy. I'm like, no, I want to fucking revolt, against like this, because it's our natural, our natural way of being is to make shit as easy as possible for us, and like to be as like lazy, like that's what we want to do, like naturally is like, what's the easiest way I can do shit? So it's like to like revolt against that like nature and be like, no, I have to like do shit because it makes me feel alive, or because we're unhappy if we're not making progress and stuff, whatever it is, whether it's like doing podcasting or making art, whatever it is. It's like, if we're not making progress, I feel like the times I'm only like happiest when I'm like seeing that, and I'm noticing that that's probably just part of human nature, why we
part of the human destiny. And that I know is making assumptions about like the nature of reality, but yeah, like what you're saying, I totally agree. It's kind of like just action is important, because if there's no action in any object in space-time, nothing happens.
That's a really good point, man.
And then like, Global Morrison heads and his whole thing about the space-time being...
Dude, I feel so stupid. I thought you said Jim Morrison.
Jim Morrison,
I was like,
bro.
I am? Wait. And then I'm like, that my whole shelf. That's right.
Grant Morrison, if you don't know. Grant Morrison, hated by Alan Moore, but loved by other peoples like us.
This is, you can't really see it probably, but this is like a whole shelf of like, I don't know, a shit ton of his books.
Yeah.
All Morrison pretty much up there.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard, go check. If you're gonna get initiated into Morrison, the first thing you have to read is The Invisibles, I think. Personally. Because I feel like that's where you're not, so like if you're reading stuff that's before then or after, you're not gonna get it as well, because it's almost like too far, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I think the best thing would be Animal Man, personally.
I see what...
Animal Man first, because it transitions. But at the same time, like, I think I read The Filth and The Invisibles first, and I was just like, it took me a long time to finally. It takes patience. It takes actually fucking read. It's not just like, fuck, we gotta go beat a bad guy up, like, you know, and not to. I love those comics too, you know, but it's definitely like. You have to fucking read about like what's going on to know what the fuck is going on in those comics. Like, it's not just reference. You can't just look at the pictures and be like, "That's the bad guy. This is the general thing. This is." Yeah. Yeah. But no, that's a good. Yeah. Well, probably Invisibles. You're right.
I will say.
I agree.
It's probably. I'll say first thing. You could say Animal Man would be the best thing to learn if you haven't been introduced to a lot of like the occult and things.
Yeah.
I'd say that would be your first bet. If you're a little bit more on the know-how or want to feel severely like you want to be red-pilled, then go to Invisibles.
Yeah, which speaking of which, Matrix totally stole a ton of stuff from that book.
They were passing that around, I guess, on the set.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, this is basically what we're making to like the cast and everything. Yeah. So, I mean, it was amalgamation.
Of a lot of things, yeah, because it was like Ghost in the Shell, and they took a lot of stuff, but fuck it, Matrix is perfect. Matrix One is absolutely perfect.
I think it's. I love all three of them, and that's very unpopular to say. Most people are only like the first one.
Wait,
but
hold on. Let's put a fucking pause in that. Let's finish what you were talking about them being a Morrison head and like that whole idea of the story, and you were talking about.
Oh, the space-time thing.
Okay.
Because he, like, when he's talking about, he had this experience, and where was that? Like, where he had his, like, mystical experience. Do you remember that whole part of the story? Anyways, he had this he walked to a pyramid. Maybe it was in South America. He went to one of those pyramids, like, in the Aztec temples. So he, like, walked up at the top. I guess he had to do it in, like, one breath. And he came down, and nothing happened. But when he went home, or he went to his motel, he was like laying on the bed, and that's when he saw like the undulating like mercury like stuff that's in the Invisibles. If you read that, I'm not going to say any more about that. And he has that experience, and he's saying he basically has like an Indian / like Hindu vision of space time where things only grow in our dimension where there's time, and that's why. And you're like everything's actually like an undulating snake. Basically, like a giant creature. If you look at it out of space time, like in the fourth or fifth dimension, right? Like the fifth, you see just like this because it
makes so much sense. Yeah, I mean, it makes so much sense. I know it makes so much sense though. Yeah. Like it really does. Like there's beings that are infinite, and we live in a space that is like finite or finite, I guess. You know? But like these. You can't make things in infinity because it's infinity. So
there's also like multiple infinities, which I just got woke on that with Mac. He was telling me about that. I was like, wait, he's like, there's other infinities. I'm like, other infinities, like in mathematics, there's different types of infinities, and I was like, how does that even make any sense? It works in like math equations, but I don't understand it all. But like, that's
interesting.
Yeah, it has to do with even like fractals too, how like they're infinities within infinities too. So if you like look at fractal patterns and you keep on going to every single point, it's gonna keep. So it's fucking wackadoo. All I know is that we don't know shit, and for having nice little phone devices and stuff like that, it's pretty amazing. But like we generally tapped.
Oh yeah,
what the universe just does on its natch.
And just why not? I mean, we do it all the time. Video games, World of Warcraft, whatever it is. Like we make games because we like see like the potentiality of the fun of it, and it just makes so much sense that like we're avatars of like. I mean, it sounds insane, but just like for me, like something like that keeps me really agnostic. Is like it just makes sense to me that we'd be avatars. The same way like we play World of Warcraft characters, and that's like the fractal of that, you know, like we like imagine and that's why like, you know, if a World of Warcraft character just like realizes it was a World of Warcraft character, was like looking at you and like, dude, you'd be like, what's up? And that's why like I think that weirder stuff starts happening the more you start thinking about, or more, because I think people do it I think like I just think magic's working all the time and always working through people, whether they're like conscious of it or not.
Oh yeah, no,
They just all use different metaphors, whether they're religious, non-religious. It's just like the words we use and like the patterns that we have. Knows me, dog. You alright, bud?
Popped up a big one. Just ruined the moment. We're just getting super fucking philosophical.
I can't even. I'm just worried about my dog now.
What's going on with
poor
you,
puppy? Are you all right over there?
Infinite consciousness. You'll be fine.
I really can't remember, but whatever.
No, I got you though. That's dead on. Yeah.
Just dude, it makes so much sense that we're avatars, and like, it just makes so much sense, and like you can die and pop into the other dimensions, and like, whatever it is, and obviously I don't know, and I don't like hold these like firm beliefs, but it's something that for me at least I've just had so many like experiences. Magic just working through all the time, like like I feel like because I've been doing like I really transitioned to be like. I was doing a lot, like people, whatever. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can Google it, Wikipedia, some of the shit. But like, I was doing a lot of like chaos magic at first and having a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to take it further and I wanted to take it more. And then I started to get like, kind of caught up in some of the ceremony. Like, I need to get 4 boxes that are equal height to like stack up so that I have like the right kind of
tools.
Yeah, and I need to get
and things like that. Yeah,
I need to get like a bell with a certain emblem on it, so that like, and like kind of getting really caught up in that, but then also just like getting more and more like, I don't know, it was just like freaking me out. I've always been like freaked out by like supernatural stuff.
Oh yeah.
So like when I was a kid and believing in God and stuff, and then like believing in Satan, and like that was something that really kind of freaked me out. So there was like this period where I was like very atheistic and I didn't believe in any of that shit. And then like the getting into magic, like 6-7 years ago, kind of brought back. I was like, I'm actually agnostic now because I'm having these kind of crazy experiences. Oh, sorry, what were we gonna say?
Oh no, I totally agree. And I was like in the same boat with any of that stuff when I first started dabbling. It was with the chaos stuff. Usually the introduction is like sigil work, And once you notice, that's the thing about all this stuff, and we've had this conversation before, is that you don't really know until you actually try it. And that's the best thing. It's the most scientific thing you can do, especially if you're thinking like, if you're going to try to like play in the realm of which is almost like a belief system or spiritual realm, like where it's goes in the woo-woo area.
Yeah.
And you're like,
for sure.
Your rational mind's go, this is bullshit, it won't work. If anything, it's just triggering like placebo effect. And that may be true, but
the what effect?
Placebo effect.
Oh,
like you just kind of tricked yourself. And that's like a lot of the situations.
But if you can activate the placebo effect, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
saying. What is the placebo effect? We don't even know.
That's another like mystery. And that's fine too. If that's just all it does, that's great. But when you play more with it, some shit gets harder to explain just with placebo, because then you might have cause and effect outside of external reality. It's not just like, I've had some things happen. I don't know if I should talk about it, but I've had some things happen that were like physically happened, like almost poltergeist activity stuff, and I freaked me out. I was like, oh shit, gotta back up here, hit the brakes. Gotta just start doing some, pentagram rituals and stuff. I'm like, I gotta cleanse this fucking place. Yeah, like really freaky, but this adds more of a dimension to it, and it's not for everyone. It's definitely not for everyone. And a lot of people shouldn't do it. Probably. I feel like I think you and we had like definitely like slow introductions with things, like which like synchronicity played out for us, so it got us into like going further into just in those areas. Because, when that happens, when you start paying attention, and Robert, I know for both of us, is like, like
Robert Anton Wilson, yeah, for sure. And I think now that I'm thinking about it, now that we're talking about it, it was like, I just got really greedy. I was just like excited about this opportunity, and I got very I think you do it, thinking about, just, it's a power in a way. And I think that's not really a bad thing. Just in the same way, like one time I heard Duncan Trussell talking about how like you can meditate to be more powerful, and that's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what are you going to do with your power?
It's a tool.
It's a tool, and like you know, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
You can be like a good person with power, but like power is not a bad thing,
Or
and
you
like
could
feeling powerful
Take a
is
hammer
good.
and build a house or smash it on his face. And
Yeah.
it's kind
Yeah.
of like the same concept, you know. You gotta how you
Yeah.
gonna use that power to like benefit not only you but kind of mankind. I like to go on that thing. I'm not like someone who. 'Cause others,
You are though, if
Yeah.
you because you're interacting with people all the time.
Yeah.
Let's say you interact with 10 people a day.
yeah.
Then if you're helping your own self out, and they interact with 10 people a day, and you tell your friend, and you tell their friend, and then their friends tell their friends, and everybody knows about
Yeah.
everybody knows about squeegees. But yeah, I think I got greedy, and I was just wanting to know more, and like that's interesting in a way, but I got more greedy, and I think I just went too far for me,
Mhm.
and that's why I had to like back off on it, because I was just getting like paranoid and like kind of like
Well,
scared.
That's
and
completely
like
normal because they even tell you that in some of the older books to just pace yourself.
Yeah.
And some of it is they suggest you don't even start until you're in your 40s. because they
yeah,
want you
that
to have
makes sense, man.
Yeah, you want to have like enough life experience to kind of like
I'm
be
definitely
able to deal with it.
yeah. Now I'm just trying to like go. I don't even really do sigil stuff.
Mhm.
I just think about magic and think about the words that I'm using, and I think
Yeah.
about like you know
Yeah.
as a metaphor, but not just as a metaphor,
Yeah.
like as a different way of using language. But language is a metaphor in and of itself, so it's sort of like this thing where I'm just sort of now going like, okay, I can go back to sort of doing more chaos magic stuff. And I just know like that, at least maybe until my
Mhm.
40s or whatever. And that's kind of interesting because that's like around when Alan Moore did, right?
Yeah,
Probably.
he proclaimed himself a magician. I think like between he was like either 40 to 45 somewhere.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
I've been 44 even, but yeah, he had his. It's actually I think he did a talk on it. It's actually a really cool story. But he did an invocation of a Goetia demon. I don't remember what the name of it, but Goetian demons. It's there's 72 of them, and you're supposed to invoke all of them and trap them basically, and then you gain their power. Well, it's like medieval era, maybe a little older stuff. So he did the ritual, and he said nothing happened, and he got like frustrated, and started like pacing around his house and being like really like agitated, and he's like he went to his room, and I think he heard a voice or something like that, or saw something in the room, and then he knew it was in there with him, and he like what he described it was like it was almost like a spider, but it was like a lattice of spiders, like multiple spiders on top of each other stacked, like from his perception. So it gets weirder, and like there's that whole thing's there. You should just check it out, Google it. It's a really cool talk. But he basically was after that. It was fine. He didn't like get possessed or anything, but like it was a little intense for him at first. But after he had the conversation with this, deity or demon, because a lot of those demons actually were gods and former incarnations, and they got demonized by like conquering forces. 'Cause that just happened all the time in the past. So, anyways, he was talking to a friend who was a mathematician, like a physicist, and he was describing to him about this like spider creature thing, and he's like, holy shit, wait, and he like grabs a book. And he might have been with him. That make more sense of the story if he was with him. He was at his house. He grabs the book. He's all, they look like this. And he pulled out this math book, and it had like a diagram that was basically dead on to like what he described. And it was basically like explaining that would be like what a hyperdimensional object would look like. So something in a higher dimension, not in a 3D space, would have this like lattice look where it's like
that's
multiple.
so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think
Totally cool.
and I think that's like what happens when you take drugs.
Yeah.
Like you see sort of things sometimes, and you hear about like I've done DMT one time, but you hear about people doing DMT and like or I don't know. I heard some story I think on the Joe Rogan Experience where like someone was saying like I don't remember about who, but like someone was like, get out of here, like in the DMT realm, like he was smoking so much DMT, like dude, you're here too much, like go away.
He was like crashing
it's
the
cool
DMT
for
couch. I'll be fine. It's like, get the fuck out of here, man. You've had enough. Yeah.
So it's very interesting to think about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, why not? Sort of. I mean,
Well,
I don't. For me, at least, like so, like. If anyone's watching this and they're like, "What the fuck
Yeah.
are they talking about?"
What the fuck?
Like,
Yeah.
for me, I was super atheistic, super atheist, like reading like, like God is not great, reading the God Delusion, God is not great, like all those books, and like they're great books, like they're fine, they're they
make sound arguments on a lot of things,
and they're very, they will tear apart fucking the Judeo-Christian gods, like the logic behind it and the history of the Bible and how the Torah is actually just an accumulation of different texts from different places, and that's why there's 2 origin stories and shit that doesn't make sense. And in the Bible it says the earth is flat, and there's so much stuff that like, they really attacked that, and that was helpful for me because I grew up Mormon. So to be like, okay, destroy that God, and not destroy it in a bad way, but just destroy like the reality of it. And the same, like I don't believe in Zeus, and like it's just because I don't want to believe in Zeus. Doesn't help me at all. So like add that God to that, and that's like a concept Richard Dawkins has. Is like just add another God, which is like the Judeo-Christian God. So that was like helpful and stuff. But I was very atheistic. But then I read was at the movie theater, like they used to let fucking us read there. Well, when I worked there was like a period where I could read, which was awesome. And so I brought in comics, and like one time I brought in The Filth, which was awesome because there's like that part where like there's the guy like with black cum all over the girl, and he's like black cum is all over her face, and I was like, hope no one sees me reading this.
Not safe for work at all. Not at all.
But I think I read The Filth first because I was just like,
oh man, that's harsh.
The quick story of that is just I went to a comic book shop once, and I was like, who's the best fucking author? What's the best fucking comics? And he's like, dude, Grant Morrison, but it's really hard to get to. And it's like, whatever, I'll get it. Then like years later, I finally was actually, and I tried a bunch, but I was at the movie theater, and I was just like, fuck it. They let us read. I'm at work. Just read this thing. And I read The Filth, and it was insane. I was like, that's the most insane thing I've ever read, ever. Like, ever, for sure. So I went and Googled Grant Morrison. I was like, who is this guy? And then I watched his video at the DeSinfoCon, and in the video, like you were saying, like he says, like, don't believe me, do the scientific thing, try it for yourself.
And that's how it works too, because it only works because it's attached to consciousness, and it works with your consciousness. So like it makes exterior reality work with your interior and blah blah blah, you woo woo stuff.
And that's the best way I've heard it explained is like, religion says like it comes through a priest, or like God comes through a priest.
Middleman.
Yeah, and magic, it comes for you, and like comes from you, and it's just. You're just not. It doesn't even just come from you. It's like it flows through you. You are it. Like it's all the same thing. Like
you're just like reminded. I think in the end, like we're indoctrinated with that you don't have that connection unless you have like a mediator, like a church. And it's almost like it's prenatal when you realize that. Like this is like, oh, this is like the stuff that felt like stuff when you were a kid. Before they like got to me. Yeah. At least from my personal experience, like it's like I grew up Catholic, and in some ways. Actually, I've reverted back in some practices that are Catholic, but only in the mystical sense, because they're pretty similar, actually. But that's the problem too. It's like religion it got co-opted, because it started out with us around campfires doing rituals, just like you'd see in like tribal people now. They might just get together and start playing some drums and altering their consciousness, maybe adding some drugs or whatever, but that's the church. And then after that it comes to like, well, I get a witch doctor, and he's kind of like the mediator in a way to like the spirit realm. After that you get a preacher in a church, and then it's like it has to become like a business model to work, and you've basically cut out this huge gap between you and the magic, because with this like fucking bureaucratic machine in spirit.
Totally.
I don't
and
know.
Just the human nature of wanting to be the most dominant and be the fucking alpha male, and like if you're controlling the afterlife, you're the alpha male.
Yeah.
That's why like that's way bigger than being the president, or it's not being the president, but you know what I mean. Like it's way bigger than. Like, those are big stakes. Afterlife. God, I get to let you either burn in fucking hell or go to the place I want based on how I think of you or whatever. Like, those are, like, the biggest stakes. And I think that's, like, something that people don't really take into account is, like, that it is still still the jungle, still like the monkey wanting to be the biggest fucking alpha male, but
Yeah.
bringing in that.
And I have some other theories too with it, but they're not very. They're gonna sound insane, but.
Well, I want to just say the last thing I was gonna say is, so do you have to go soon?
I still have a little time.
Okay.
I might maybe like after that. Do you want to take maybe like a 5-minute break?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But
Yes,
do you know what you were gonna
finish
say?
your No.
Do you remember what you were gonna say?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, just basically, I did the stuff
Mhm.
that Graham Morrison said to do, the sigil work.
Mhm.
I tried it for myself, and it worked, just like he said it would, and just like he said that I should try it for myself to see if it worked. So that's my only thing to say is like it worked for me.
Be a scientist.
So
try
yeah,
it out. If it doesn't work for you, then cut it out.
yeah.
But if it works,
It worked so well that like I don't do it anymore because I'm like I'm good on that because I feel like I feel like I have to be very careful about what you're wishing for and what you're asking for, and when you're doing that it has to be very well thought out. And I think
it does.
it needs to have the purest intention and like the purest intentions of like positivity and like being a better person. And that's like for me it's sort of like one sigil work that I did was to like get fit, but it's like it still involves me having to get fit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still have to do the work to get fit, but it helped me like get in the mindset. And it's like it's something that once you start doing it, it really makes sense because it's like a hard ritual, which is something we don't have as much respect for now in our culture. But this hard ritual of saying I'm changing like my mind frame of this. But sorry, so what were you saying?
No, that's fucking dead on. That's like exactly what I would say. So. No, but like I was gonna say, the other thing is like I kind of want to show you a couple other things I learned recently about doing with sigils, and maybe you'd want to try them out.
Yeah, dude. Oh, that was about you. But you were saying I remember you were saying like I have theories on it, but it's gonna sound insane.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have any facts. I have suspicions, many, but there's things out there that make me, and this is probably like it's gonna sound schizophrenic. Maybe it is schizophrenic. I could be schizophrenic. I think at some point in the human history, we had some sort of. I don't want to say it wrong because it could leave a bad taste and make it sound like I'm saying things about people or races or anything like, or social structures, and I'm not. I'm just saying.
I hate women, I hate black people, I hate gay people, I hate everyone that's not a white male, so please. It's all good.
You hit it right on the head.
What are you saying?
But I don't know, but I think at some point, and it was probably a long, long time ago, there was obvious change in the human animal. Like you could like ancient Sumeria, like the oldest recorded thing we have, is fucking crazy how advanced it was. But I think sometime even before then, and this is where it goes into the weird, where if you basically are on one side of the fence, either materialists or non-materialists, or you're thinking like in an animism kind of way, where consciousness is key to like the whole building blocks in the universe. I'll say that, and there's tons of it out there. We only experience 3D consciousness. You and I sitting here, we're talking. We know that. But it's floating everywhere, and it's all over the. That's just my thoughts. Don't
I believe that.
You can tune into it sometimes and find some things popping up.
Just in the same way the first dimension is a dot.
Yes.
The 10th dimension is something we can't comprehend. We're in the middle of it, so
exactly.
I totally know what you're talking about.
So good. It's coming out of the groundwork. So we do live in a dualistic reality too. So there's positive, negative, good, bad, whatever, and then good and bad is still like it's a verbal trap, and also a conceptual trap, because it's like one person's good, it's another person, that kind of thing. But definitely, there's definitely like super negative and like super good, and they're kind of like the exact opposite of each other.
Yeah.
So in the world of people, like there's also consciousness out there that's like people in a way. It might be benign, but also might be sinister. And I feel like at some point something came onto our planet either, or came through another dimensional space, and is kind of using people as like meat puppets. Like they're not exactly human, and that's why I was saying I wanted to make it clear I'm not saying a certain race or person. I'm not saying that. It's just that something came along. It's not a large portion of. It's kind of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. That's the best way I could put it. But even like the Gnostics talked about stuff like that, like the archons, the idea that's just like this kind of alien.
I'm talking about like they live.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
With the glasses on.
Yeah, totally. Something like that, but like it's more like a conscious thing. It's not.
Yeah.
They're still people.
I see, but like that idea.
There's this. So, and those people I would call like, and maybe I'm wrong, but they're kind of more like the sociopathic.
Yeah, like Donald
psychopaths.
Trump, our fucking president.
Yeah, there's like
fucking awful garbage human being piece of shit president.
they're all over the power structures, and that's the thing. Like statistically, they have a higher chance being at the top, and especially like certain business and political worlds and all that stuff. Like they're usually at the top.
Totally.
So that's like a fact. Like this is a scientific fact. You can go look at. I'm not just making that up.
Sociopaths are totally way more sociopaths run companies than are just normal human beings.
Yeah.
Percentage wise.
Yeah, it's not that they're all. That's not like what you're gonna find. But I'm saying there's a larger number of that smaller sample population than say if like you're if you did a sample around your whole neighborhood, you'd probably find less sociopaths. But if you went into like a corporate office, you're like, wow, there's actually quite a few here. Yeah. Or even
it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And I've seen them like musicians,
people
that would just slit someone's throat to get ahead. But they look like little. They're like the little. I've seen these little dolls when you press a button and they go evil.
Yeah.
They're like that. They look like these cute little dolls, but it's like
they look like a
press
person.
Press the wrong button, and I've seen it even like on a musical scale where like people have seen like the power that being a musician can have, and have like come aboard in that way, and they're just like these people that like you're like, wow, you would like.
Right, eat a person.
You would like eat a baby. You'd have a baby like for dinner to get ahead in life, and you're like. It's very creepy. It's very creepy.
It is creepy
when you kind of realize that.
So I guess I'm like right now in my life, and I'm not
Donald
saying
Trump
I don't
does
think
eat
that.
babies.
He might. We don't know.
I'm not being sarcastic. Donald Trump eats babies.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm being that literally. Sorry, what were you saying?
Fake news. Fake news. No, but
it's not fake news. He eats babies. He eats little boys.
It's possible.
Every night.
I think there's definitely a lot more people in the United States that eat.
You can say that, right? Because Alex Jones gets to say whatever the fuck he wants, and like he never gets in trouble, right?
Well, he's got a lawsuit right now against the yogurt company because he said stuff, about
immigrants.
Yeah, in
Chobani,
yeah. Like I think it was something along the lines that he made the statement that there was higher TB outbreaks where they were immigrating people in like Idaho or something or somewhere out there. And then he's like, "That's not true. I'm suing you." And then he's like, "Oh, sure. I got the numbers right here."
That's Giovanni. Yeah,
I got the friggin' numbers. Got the
Giovanni plant is there. I think I saw a thing on 60 Minutes, which was really cool. Which made me want to eat Giovanni a lot more. I'll say Giovanni one more time, and that's it.
Yogurt is good, and you want that good bacteria for the gut.
Yeah, you shit like a champ. Mm-hmm. It's real nice.
But like with the psychopath thing, I don't know if they are. It could be just a human brain dysfunction, but I don't think we know enough about consciousness in general to make that assumption. So my other leap over the fence would be that it's somewhat alien to whatever the human animal is naturally here. Whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like,
you're saying we were touched. Like someone came along when we were monkeys and we were touched.
Who knows? Could have been like some Prometheus stuff.
Yeah.
Who knows? All I know is that there's something is wrong. There's something that's a little off, and when you see everyone knows someone that's a psychopath or a sociopath, and there's a distinction. It's the eyes. You can look at the eyes.
It's the eyes, man.
It's the fucking eyes. It's true. The window of the soul is the truest statement I've ever heard when you run into one of these people. You see it. They're dead. They're fucking and there's like a murderous intent sometimes. Like you see this like. You're just an object, and I could kill you right now, but I'm not going to let you, or I'm not going to kill you right now. And that's like a power trip too.
Well, they know the rules.
Yeah,
like that's what they know how to act human.
Yeah, there's just no empathy at all. Like that whole human nature is gone,
and they know to have empathy.
Yeah,
because it's what they They know to do. It's crazy, man. And it's just statistically a thing where it's like it's just so weird to me because I just think of like, music should be like this pure like thing where it's like sensitive. I mean, everyone should be able to do it. You should be whatever. But like, I think of music, I think of like Brian Wilson and like John Lennon and like these really like sensitive people, and then there's people that are like, I'm gonna take this beautiful art thing and I'm just gonna get the benefits of it, even though it's like it's not for like a sincere reason. You're like, I mean that's true for everything, but who am I to judge too? You know, someone said that once. They're like, who are you to judge who's a real artist or who's an art artist? I am my own judge. Like me, I'm the one that gets to. I don't know. Like I can only speak for myself. You know, but I do like that about like Robert Anton Wilson. You know, he says like, you know, not to get into arguments about like rock being better than soul because it's meaningless. But again, it's like I'm at least speaking from.
Yeah, and I think in the end, it's too that the intention from the artist was from a true place. If you don't like it or you do, then that doesn't matter. That's kind of like where it's subjective. But like when it's just like purely like a commercial thing, where it's like we're gonna make a lot of cash. You know, like the Backstreet Boys. Was that guy, the big fat guy that had like this guy? He like made all the boy bands in the '90s.
Yeah.
Not exactly. He was not wanting to touch the souls of people. He's like, I know I want to reach out. I want these songs to like be in the sphere of music for generations. No, it was just a quick buck, and I think that's what I was reading from you. You don't want the quick buck garbage. You don't want the fast food of art.
Yeah.
You want your nutritional, soul feeding art, something like that. But yeah.
No, I think that's true. I mean, I think it is one, and it's like the thing that sucks too is like you do get. If you are someone who's like the president, you do get ahead by being that. And he got ahead by being a bully online, and like that's kind of what got him elected, and so it's just sort of this thing where it's like
I can go in on that. Where another reason why he got elected, I've been doing some research.
Do it. Talk about it. We can talk about.
Let's take a quick break.
I gotta pee.
You gotta pee, and I'm gonna take a smokers. So I'm about to get real fucking real, dude.
I had to kick my dog out, but he's gonna poop in my room later as payback. I know it.
Yep.
Oh, thank God I still have some more of this left. Do you want some?
Sure, what is it?
Kombucha?
Kombucha!
It's not my kombucha. Sorry, that's a horrible joke.
Ooh, that smells like vinegar.
It is like, tastes like vinegar.
I don't know. Sorry. I don't know if I'm that like brave right now.
Just try it sometime.
I'll try
Probably all backwash.
Alright. Not to be rude. Kombucha some other time, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, so what's your theory?
Okay, so I learned after all dust has settled and you kind of like get to read not just angry blurts of like, and like, apocalypse. Just kind of find some things that are a little bit just like I need some cool information that's like a razor. No. But anyways, so Trump was backed by this guy, Robert Mercer. So he's a billionaire, right?
Dude, the fucking helicopters aren't about to like come in right now, right? Like Mel Gibson's conspiracy theory.
Right.
Just like, tick, 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 tick.
I don't do much. So basically he backed Trump, right? He funded him. He also funded Breitbart and maybe a couple of the alt-right organizations.
Sense.
He proclaims himself to be a libertarian and thinks most politicians are crooks and stuff. Like this is all stuff. People said he was like a clown, like within his own rich circles. But like Trump made a comment. He's like, I've known over time. I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, you pay attention to the clowns that no one respects, or something like that. You pay attention to the successful clowns. That was it. Pay attention to successful clowns. And so he like met up with him at some point in the past. Trump did a lot of flippy floppy with his affiliations. He was like, for most of the time, he was Democrat, and he like went to Independent, and then went back to Democrat. And then went, I think, independent again. And then before he ran, he went Republican. Like as far as what he changed his status was. So what I'm going to say is that Robert Mercer and other people within like this deep state styled rich types that are basically running things. There's a fraction within that. There was the Clinton camp, and there's the Trump camp. None are either good or bad, or basically, I think most of them actually have bad intentions. I think the whole deep state's an issue. There might be some okay guys in there. I don't know, but he's funding him. He owns. He's the CEO of the Renaissance Technologies, which is among the most profitable hedge funds in the country. Right. He also is like a brilliant, I guess, data scientist, and he made algorithms for like the stock market. So this is where it goes, where it's weird. So he's using D-Wave computers now, the quantum computers. And if you don't know anything about quantum computers, it's really fucking weird. And it's actually going to change everything dramatically in the next about 10 years or less. A lot of things are going to go really fucking weird, and we don't even know what's going to happen. A lot of jobs won't even exist that we have right now. But anyways, getting off point. So with his data analyst stuff, with the combination of quantum computers, he figured out a way. He basically went through combed through all the data from people were saying on the internet and whatnot, and he came to the conclusion that they wanted an outsider candidate, and this is who was going to win. He found Trump, groomed him, put him in, and now we're going to see what's the unfolding of this other deep state fraction and what their plans are. So that's basically where we're at right now.
You're saying that a guy who runs one of the biggest hedge funds like found Trump and was like,
and groomed him to be president.
People love you.
People are gonna love you.
Which is true. Yeah. I mean, people. Well, he had a Comedy Central roast.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen to people that
he did wrestling too. He had a reality TV show. Like, he hit on all these demographics, and that's the other thing too. Since they were doing all this funnily, and like when I say data, they are taking mass amounts of it, and these algorithms. So
you mean he's been trying since like 8 years ago when Trump first started running?
Right. So, but the analyst companies weren't doing as well until they have recently, especially with the D-Wave computers, and this is where the game change happened because they're using multiple dimensions to run statistics and algorithms. Like, it's high tech, weird science stuff.
Quantum computers.
Quantum computers. And so they found that's what they're doing. So they found. So basically, what they could do is they told him all this data told him what to say and what to do and when to do it, because these things also can manipulate the future in a sense. I know it sounds crazy, but you can basically feed stimuli to a population. This is actually what Facebook is doing. You can feed stimuli in, and it will kind of alter the course of things.
Makes so much sense, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
so data right now is the currency with like the elites and everyone in high power. It's not money, it's not real estate, it's not energy.
It's data.
It's data.
That's why Facebook's free.
Fucking data is it. And we're going to see very strange things happen from now to 10 years. By 2020, it's going to be I'm going to predict it's going to be, most of the landscape's going to be completely different. Like, it's going to be very fucking strange. Hopefully not.
Stay tuned, I guess. Yeah. And if you're listening in 10 years, you're like, yes or no. But probably yes, because computers... Ugh. I mean, you think about, if you would have told me 10 years ago I had fucking a computer in my pocket, that's unreal.
Duncan,
20...
Yeah.
Did we have smartphones in 2007?
No. It was about 2000, it was about, I think 5-6 years ago when they started getting more in the market.
I think my phone was a little bitch when I was in 2008.
Because we still had like the flip phones before they came out, and like kind of like the small.
Ew, and those pictures.
Yeah.
Man, and like taking a nudie of your lady with those little stupid cameras. Yeah. Fuck those cameras.
They were bad.
I don't have any nudies of my ladies.
No, I don't either. I keep it.
One time I did, and then I deleted it. And she was the one that got mad at me. She was like, "You deleted that? I looked so good." I was like, well, I don't know. I thought someone would see it.
Well, with all the recent revelations of hacking and stuff, someone could have probably saw it, so it might have done her solid. Didn't get out.
And I did it just because I was like, I don't look so good in it. And she was like, you deleted it. I looked so good. So I guess we just had different opinions. I should have just cut her. I should have just blurred myself out. And then like, here it is. Here's your sex tape.
Just Photoshop like Jason Statham right next to it. You're like, that's me.
Yeah, Jason. Gosh, what a guy. What a guy.
What a guy. Go see Fast 8.
I haven't seen a Fast movie since Tokyo Drift.
It is... I saw parts of it. It's balls out deep insanity.
I love it.
I was just listening to how this get made about it before I came over here. It's
I love, dude. I think that the fact that Fast and the Furious 8 beat out a Star Wars movie, beat out Episode 7, is to me like... just sometimes you just believe in Americans. You're just like, you know what? That's cool. Star Wars been around forever. Fast and Furious is ridiculous.
They amp it up every one. Like they go to 10.
I think I'm gonna do a marathon and just watch because I haven't seen. I watched Tokyo Drift, which I fucking loved.
I heard that's like the weakest one of all of them too.
No, I think Too Fast, Too Furious. I've seen the first 3.
Okay.
And I thought Too Fast, Too Furious was awful. There was like a part where like a guy puts a fucking rat on another guy and then puts a bucket on him and then like lights a fire and like that could be creepy. I think I've seen it in other movies that was creepy, but it was so dumb. Like, get the rat! We're gonna kill you with a rat! Like, it was just so dumb. And then like, I mean, Vin Diesel wasn't in it. I mean, rest in peace Paul Walker, but come on, that guy can't like, I mean, whatever I'm not gonna say. He can't. Let's just say, I'll say this. The movies work better when he has a co-lead. Mm-hmm. At least the Fast and the Furious movies work better with a co-lead.
Right.
That sucks that Paul Walker died, and I think that sucks. And I don't hate women and black people and gay people. I was joking.
That should be the name of from the episode.
I do think that's funny, though. That's like a funny aspect of human beings. Like, I am not racist. It's like, cool. Like, that's like the most decent, like, they're super proud of, like, I don't hate anybody. Anybody! It's like, alright, dude, forget it, man. You don't hate anybody. You need to relax. So, I mean, I think there's some weird, there's a weird with the internet, like, I think the thou doth protest too much type shit, where it's like, alright, you hate black people, dude, come on. You're talking about a little too much. Or, I don't know, I'm just joking, but you know what I mean? Like, I think definitely, obviously, that's like what the, like, people that post really inspirational stuff or like really like holy timelines emerging. Like one of my friends wrote on her status. I was like, any guy wrote holy timelines emerging, be like, oh, that guy's a fucking douchebag. This girl writes, it's 100 likes. Oh, she's so smart. She's so smart. She's so in touch with the I like her boobs. Like, it's basically what it is. I made the same argument on one of my last podcasts.
Good. With Instagram, that, like, I could post something, maybe get, like, 5 likes, but, like, chick has unfair advantage. Just a little,
so
tit. Just a little bit like, oh, I didn't know it was here. And they're like, oh! It's like thousands. DMs,
and it's
like
so condescending, dude.
I mean, I'm sure,
so condescending.
I'm sure
I love your music so much.
Yeah.
So, I love your titties.
That sounds sexy.
I love your music. Sorry.
Come on, ladies. You know you have an advantage. You know you do. You work it. You work it. That's good.
I would work it too.
I would work it too. I can't work it. That's the problem. That's why I'm so upset. I'm a fat nerd. I cannot work it. Fuck. Okay.
Whatever, dude.
On that note.
But it is a weird thing. I mean, like women are like, oh, it's hard to be a woman in the music industry. Like, I mean, you're like, probably a lot of people want to fuck you. I guess that sucks maybe sometimes.
That's gotta suck,
that's gotta be a thing where you're like, alright, I get it. Get yourself together. I get it. I'm hot. But like, women go, there's less women doing it, and then men are fucking condescending to women. You know, they will say a woman is doing a better job than she's actually doing because they want to get in her pants.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that would suck to be a woman. I don't want like anyone to fucking be, you know. Yeah. I mean, I guess I do want women to be like, I really like your music and I want to suck your dick. And I'm like, cool. Awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's one of these things. It's like, I get it. If I had that, maybe I'd be like, but sometimes when you're like seeing it happen, like, oh man.
I'm definitely being more on guard about like, I have to be, I mean, I feel that way anyways. Like, I have to be really good. It doesn't matter what people think about, like, think it's good or bad. Like, I just have to know I'm doing my best. I would definitely, if you was a lady, I would be like, I can't fucking listen to anybody. They just want to fuck me. They'll say anything. They just want to fuck me.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so what were we, okay, so The Matrix?
The Matrix. We were going to go back to The Matrix. Oh, man. Great segues.
Matrix, also about a babe.
So what do you want to talk about them?
No, we were just, you said I love all 3 Matrix movies. That's an unpopular opinion.
It is.
It's fun to talk about unpopular opinions.
Unpopular opinions. There's a segment. Yeah, the thing is, what I think loses most people is what is actually really going on is mythology and Gnosticism thrown into, like, there's basically secret underlying text to the whole thing, and it won't make as much sense. You won't appreciate it as much because it'll look more silly, I think, without it. Like, at least for me, when I learned more about those things, I was like, oh wow, they're actually really deep. And, it's not just like Keanu Reeves sort of poorly acting, but, he's still a badass.
I think he did great.
He did a great job. He's badass. But I mean, like, poorly acting is where it's like, it's the, he has a thing. It's undefinable.
He shouldn't do Shakespeare.
He shouldn't do Shakespeare. Yeah, like if he tries to do something like that,
no, he's all right.
But he can hold a fucking movie together.
Have you seen him do Shakespeare?
No.
He's done Shakespeare.
Done something?
I mean, he's good. I was just joking.
Yeah.
No, he does have his thing.
I remember him in that vampire movie, and that was not.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he'd try to do a British accent. It was not working very well.
Dude, I loved that movie in high school called The Replacements, where he was like a football player. What were you saying though?
Oh, I
love Keanu.
Yeah, no, I love him too.
He is great.
That's the thing. He's a dedicated motherfucker. You can't. That guy not only did for The Matrix, especially, he trained like a motherfucker to do that, and he did all his stunts, and he did all his.
Got injured a bunch.
He did all his fights. He choreographed. He did hours and hours and hours and hours. At least 3 years combined of martial arts training just to do these movies. That's dedication. Most actors won't even do that. They won't put themselves through the blood, sweat, and tears. Tom Cruise is another guy who will dedicate himself to a role, or
Love Tom Cruise too.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to watch Iron Fist, because I'm like, there's no way that guy had enough time from the time they hired him to the time he started doing the movie, to the time it came out. That there was no way he learned how to fight in that time. It's not against him.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm playing a pianist in 4 months. It's like, no, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But even
like some Tim Ferriss fucking freak weirdo that like somehow figures that out like a. But sorry, what were you saying?
Oh no. No, that he's dedicated. Like even with John Wick, he trained like a motherfucker for that. He can actually shoot really well. Like there's videos of him doing that. Wow, I'm getting off. No, but without having that context of the underlining old principles, I guess you can say, or just different ideas that are being thrown in, that you're in a simulation, things aren't what they seem, you're in a prison, you're trapped by parasites that are basically using you as energy, and you have this archetype, the hero, Jesus type person who's gonna break everyone out, and that's it's old as time, but when those movies came out, that defined what a lot of things were gonna be after then, and that's why they're amazing, graphics wise, just even structure of how you shoot scenes and things, and the action scenes too. That movie, no one was doing that until they were. And then everyone was doing it afterwards. They're like, oh, I'm bored of that. It's like, well, don't shit on The Matrix because they did it first,
Yeah. Well, real fast, I want to hear what your thoughts on it, but my complaint about The Matrix and where I think The Matrix went wrong is I think there's too much action in the third one.
Okay.
Just a little bit too much, but the fucking goddamn it.
Uh-oh.
Shit. That's my weed, my drugs, give me my. That's how I know I'm a drug addict. But the things that Matrix Reloaded should have started the second after The Matrix ended, and not been where it was all old hat to him. Because the first movie, it starts us off with Neo,
right, and
we are going in it with him, and he learns that he's the one, and then the second one, it's he's not that, they didn't portray him that way, and it should have been a thing about this guy that's really comes in, and all these people are expecting these things from him, and I think it was all there, but it was just emotionally, he was bored. This thing, we were all just what the fuck is going on? We just learned about Zion. Zion, ear me. I love that, dude.
Yeah.
I'm actually a fan of them too, and I think
they're not perfect. Don't get me wrong.
No,
They're not
the
perfect.
first one's
The first
perfect.
one is a near perfect fit. It's
but
like perfect.
so is the Fellowship of the Rings.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty much perfect movie.
So-
But the other ones aren't.
I feel like when you were saying it's totally true, and it would work almost better if they would have done it as a TV series because you have more time to tell a story and go back. You know what I mean? Like that. I wish they would actually do a Matrix series, make a prequel, like where because they talked about other ones. You know, they're like
They're gonna do it. I think they said
Oh.
maybe they're making a movie.
okay.
I don't know.
heard
That
about
could
the
be
movie.
bullshit.
Maybe was it going to be like a Morpheus prequel or something like that?
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
But because the dude who played in the Apollo movie,
Oh.
the last Rocky one,
I liked him. I like
yeah,
that.
he's like going to be Morpheus, I
I
guess.
did like Creed. Yeah.
Yeah, Creed,
So
that was it.
what were you saying?
No, it's just they're not perfect. Sometimes they're silly. Like,
Is that Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah,
Is it? The
Yeah,
guy named
yeah.
Michael B.
Yeah,
Jordan?
that's it.
Cool!
Michael B. Jordan.
I didn't mix up black people that time. That's
No.
great.
No, he's great. I'm sure he'll do good. So yeah, it just needs. But I really enjoy the Animatrix too. Like
Oh, yeah.
those are fucking awesome, and that's
Even there was an Animatrix episode about Neo first going in. Like, they just
Mhm.
didn't, I don't think they prepared us emotionally to where he was at in
Yeah.
the movie. And I think it was just like this thing where I just thought that, even if they made that movie, but yeah, dude,
Mhm.
like all that, like.
it's a lot to do. It's a huge universe too. Like they
Yeah.
compact a lot and just.
And I love the fucking last Renaissance, is that what it's called? Or the second Renaissance or something?
Yeah, I think
Where,
so.
like, it's just all about how it's, like, really about you find out that the war didn't just, like, by the time we got into the Matrix, shit had already gone down and it was the humans' faults just as much as the robots'
Yeah.
fault. And it wasn't just, like, this thing where they were just being imprisoned. And I love that aspect of episode 3 or of Matrix Revolutions where he's like if you could see them like I see them, and it's like that's when he's like the true Messiah, like when he's like truly resurrected, when he's just like realizes like his enemy isn't really his enemy, and he goes back and he realizes like that the fighting is what's causing
the misery and
the suffering, and and then when he gives up and he finally lets Smith kill him, and then Smith's destroyed and they're both gone, but like what's left is just like that serenity, and I think it's just something that people didn't really want to think about.
No, they played a lot of deep shit.
Yeah.
They played a lot of deep. There's so much, like you can watch those films probably like 50 times, still not get everything that's in them.
Yeah.
Like anytime I see them again, I see more stuff. I'm like, they're heavy. It's like, I'm trying to remember the name of the book. Secret History of the Ages. I think that's the name of the book. It's a Manly P. Hall book. It's a huge, massive, like occult, like text, and he wrote it all when he was like 22, and it's amazing.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I think you'd like it. It's you have to take it in breaks because it's like like it's stream of consciousness with all that. Like I think he like channeled the book or something because it's great, but it's in some ways that book's like similar to the Matrix in the way that there's all this stuff in there. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Oh, I better not. I'm gonna be driving soon.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Shit.
That's all you got to say about the Matrix? No. I really did love too. The scene a lot of people hate that I really love is that limbo scene where he's talking to that like Indian family, and just like when he realizes that like, yeah, like just like even if it's all kind of an accident and like whatever, like them having a kid. And like the kids, I don't know what Sati means, but like the kid's name's Sati, and just like those things having a kid, and all of a sudden now they care for it, and like, just like what is going to happen in this world? Like there's no way that's not going to happen if we continue down a road of AI. They're gonna have creations just like us, and they're gonna want to protect them.
Yeah.
The closest thing I've ever had is like my art, but I also have like now I have nephews, and it's like. They're gonna happen. It's just like a really cool thing. And like when he says like, I just love that part too. He's like, karma's just a word that means what I'm here to do. And I really love that idea of it. Like that, like what's your karma? Not as like you just doing tipping, whatever, like the kind of like Americanized version of it, but just like what's your like actual like going back to like, you know, we're going to Joseph Campbell, like what's your purpose, like what's like your source. But I mean, I also think that, you know, that ties in with like Grant Morrison and Robert Anton Wilson too. Like it's all that same thing of like being like the purest you, or the purest like
your true
source.
potential self.
Do what thou will. It shall be the whole of the law.
Yeah.
You know, and like finding what your will is and then like doing it. What did you just say? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying, I don't even remember what I just said, but I was totally agreeing. I said something.
Shit, I'm sorry.
No,
dude.
no, you
fucking stoned.
I think that was the place to end it. That was like perfect. Just to do.
Dude, you gotta go, right?
I gotta head.
Dude, thank you so much for being.
Problem.
I mean, you just came over to hang out, and then we recorded this, but I think it worked.
Yeah,
it
I think so.
Fun.
Hopefully, someone enjoys this.
I
Am I
enjoy
crazy?
it.
Like they're like, wow, that guy hates black people, and thinks everyone's a psychopath from a space or.
Yeah, I'm just glad I got Michael B. Jordan right, because if I would have said the wrong name, people would have been like, "You racist motherfucker."
Yep, I'm a fascist cuck. Libtard.
I feel like
snowflake.
Yeah, I feel like just say all the shit.
Yeah, I'm all of it.
Like that's how I feel. Like I just want to be like, yeah, I'm a bigot. Like I hate everybody. Like I hate every fucking buddy.
Whoa,
you know?
Settle down.
No, I'm kidding.
Cut that out.
I'm kidding, but like I just was thinking about that. It's like, you know, it's just like, no, I hate everybody, but I hate them all equally. You know what I mean? It's like I talk shit a bit about like I don't like Robert Anton Wilson to me said it best. Like you don't know anybody. Like you don't know, not that you don't know anybody. You don't know enough people of any group to be able to judge one group. You don't know enough gay people. You know, I don't know enough men. I personally am a white man. I don't know enough white men. I haven't had enough interactions with white men, the people I've had the most interactions with, my white men and white women. I don't have enough big enough sample for me to make an accurate judgment. So every time I say like women are like this or men are like this, it's like no, that's the kind of men and women I've been around.
From your experience,
you know, like women that are like, oh, men are assholes. It's like you date assholes. You do like it's like you're, and so when I don't. Like I don't see color. I don't care what kind of dick. If you want to suck a dick or not suck. If you want to be non-gender, binary, you know. Yeah. I don't care.
To each their fucking.
I'm a bigot though. So if I get something wrong, I'm a bigot. Like I've already called myself it. You can call me a hateful person. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm not. I try to be loving, but it's at the same time. It's like it's gonna happen on accident. Because I'm 31 now. So there's going to be words in my vernacular that are going to be inappropriate. Yeah. Like this whole thing about gender. Like you're not supposed to say, you know, you're supposed to like...
I'm hearing stuff.
You know what? There's less trans people than there are gay people. And like, there just are. So it's like, are we going to change the whole language just for like this small group of people? And I'm not meaning any offense. I'm totally for bathroom sharing, all that shit. But just like, that's something I think about. Like, you're going to call me a bigot because I'm just using language that I've used before. And I realized like, oh, but that's the same thing as like Negro. It's like this word people used to use and they didn't know it was racist. And then it becomes racist or colored or whatever.
Right.
Or gay, you know, whatever it is. And
language changes over definition over time.
I guess he or she's going to be out the window because I don't, I mean, I don't want to be a bigot. I don't want to be like, I'm just gonna I just decided I'm just gonna like pretty much go for whatever they like. All right, what are the little kids saying? Because they're gonna be right eventually. Like
language fails us. I mean, it's amazing that we can even communicate at all. Because otherwise, if we didn't have it, it's gonna be really hard to like distinguish what anyone's trying to think or do. So sometimes we make mistakes and we use the wrong word or don't even understand what the meaning of that word is. And I'm totally guilty of this. I'm stupid, so I know this. So I try not to just not shame or judge, and I have been guilty of it. I've done it. I attacked people on the internet, especially because that's. I think it just, especially with Facebook, it makes you do. They've done some chicanery. It's black magic, and it's really made people like really like edgy. You know.
What do you mean you've tagged people?
Like so, for instance, a few weeks ago, I feel bad about this. I have this friend, he had a post about homeless people in San Francisco being moved out or something in some area. and one of his friends, which he was probably just joking, and that's that's the problem. You can't read it into this subtleties of text on a screen. He said, "Oh, we should just, basically take care of them by like killing them." And then I got my little jacket on. I was like, "Oh, social justice warrior, coming out, gonna get this fucking guy. Fuck you, bro. How dare you say something like that, you fucking fat." I was like, the gloves were off, and I was just in a flurry. And then after I sent it, like I felt good, but then like 10 minutes later, I felt bad. I was like, why did I even do that? I didn't participate in that, but it happens. So I gotta understand that. Like, I'm trying to teach myself not to worry when people say stuff. I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt. It's just tongue in cheek most of the time. Because if someone's really being evil, like really fucked up, and they're like raping people and killing and stuff, and really like, or gaslighting someone, or just like severely mentally fucking someone, and it's like, okay, maybe we should step in. But otherwise, it's cool, baby. People are people. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, dude, I had the same thing where I was gonna like,
yeah.
Like I was crossing a street and like one car stopped and this car that just like went into the fucking intersection, but luckily I was like still like with this car, and I was just like, you shouldn't just fucking pull into the crosswalk. It wasn't even like, she was obvious this lady was waiting for a car. I was like, you shouldn't just pull out. And she's like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, it's okay. And I don't know why I said it's okay, because it's not okay. But just like, it was this thing where I was just like so angry, and then I wanted to get on Facebook and be like, everyone says the worst generation is the one that's the youngest. Maybe everyone's right. Like I was like totally. This was like earlier today. I was like pissed. Yeah. And I was like, calm the fuck down. Like, and I had to like, like I stopped listening to the music I was listening to because I was like so like, just like. I was just blunt, yeah. Sometimes you get triggered, man.
And that's where I'm saying that maybe the triggers are a bit artificial right now. Not all of them, but some of them are being purposely pushed, and that's why I say just be careful. Don't spend too much time on like Facebook stuff and things like echo chambers. They're dangerous. We need multiculturalism. We need to fuse different ideas and ideologies.
Yeah, and if
religions and all of it.
And if like trans people or whatever, like non-binary people, like aren't going to be integrated into like the different aspects, you can't choose like one side. And I know like what I mean is like, it can't just be this thing where it's just visceral at another side or at people. It needs to be like, hey man, we're wanting to like you to understand us. And I know that's like, it sucks, but it's just, to me, I feel like that's like the gay community like spent, like that's awful to think about how they were treated. And it's awful to think about how like trans people and non-binary people can be treated too. But like,
people are just treated horrible like all the time. Even just
disabled people used to be treated horrible.
Sometimes you run an issue. I don't know. I've had plenty of times people at work would just shit on me, and I'm just like, wow, that just came up because there's this people have like suffering in them, and they just like kind of project it, and that's kind of like where we're at right now. It's like a lot of suffering, and people are just like, bleh. It's on everyone, bleh. And we just got to pull that back, and love each other as much as we can, and try to work. That's all. Work it, and be okay with other ideas, things that even like trigger you at first. Just hear it out and then try to come to some sort of middle ground. I don't know.
Totally.
How do we do it?
Man.
How do we get to space? That's all.
Dude, how
do we get to space?
Yeah. I used to think I was so much better than religious people. And I know that's sounds stupid to me to say. I just did though. Like I'd be lying if I said it, but I was like, "Boo! I know more than them. I know they think this. But little as I know more than them. And I think it's real dumb. They think they know more than me, but I know more than them." And it's like this thing where like I had a fucking hang up about it, and I just feel like now I'm like, I meet a lot of Christians, I meet a lot of people, I don't know what their experience is in life. I can't fucking judge them. And I don't think I'm better than them now. And it's a nice feeling to just be like, it's called like healthy shame and then unhealthy shame. Like Kanye West has unhealthy shame because like he thinks he's just incredible and everything he does is the best. But he is incredible, and a lot of the things he does are the best. But he
Yeah.
just like has an unhealthy shame, it seems like. And then healthy shame is when you're like, I can't remember. Fuck, never mind.
That's cool, man.
I watched that video a while ago.
It's dead on.
Healthy shame is when you don't act like a jackass because
Yeah.
you're like, I don't want to act like a jackass. I don't know.
That's we're all learning. We're just little baby minds floating around in space time. Learning, I guess. I don't.
Yeah, if each generation can be less of an asshole, that would be nice. Sorry to keep you, man. I don't mean to.
Man, I'm sorry. I got.
Hey there, everybody in the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you for listening to my podcast, Music, Movie, Comedy, Eating Ass. Welcome to my podcast, Greg. Fucking Greg. Hell yeah, dude. Thanks for being on the show, man.
Yeah, thank you. Give me some high five.
Greg Henry in the motherfucking house. He hosts. I'll put in the show notes, but he co-hosts the High Weirdness podcast, which I also did the
opening song.
Opening song for. So I'll put that at the end of this episode because that'll be fun to put that
I
out.
plugged you too, but I'll plug you again on the next one.
Oh, cool, man!
Yeah,
I'll
cool.
put it up on the end of this episode and link to your guys' shit. Thanks for being on the show, Greg. Thanks for listening, people who listened.
Be cool.
So I feel a little bit silly to add this aside or this little ending, but Greg was just leaving. He's like, man, I hope I don't actually come off like a racist in that or a bigot. He said something like that. And I was like, dude, we were just joking around. I mean, like, here's something you gotta understand. Here's something you gotta understand. The KKK feels marginalized. Like, the KKK feels like a marginalized group that, like, doesn't have right. Like, everybody feels marginalized. It's a part of... Every artist feels unappreciated. Every group feels marginalized. And I don't mean that to dismiss or diminish anyone's thing. I just mean that I got a fucking email from fucking... and how could Greg be racist? He's married to a white lady. I mean, come on. But I got an email from someone, and it said, like, hold on, let's read it. Let's read what it says. But when I was a kid, when I was like 12 years old, this was like, 20 years ago, 19 years ago. When I was 12 years old, 19 years ago. Cool, I could do math. My fucking teacher, a white man, was like, hardest thing in the world is to be a white man right now. Hardest thing in the world is to be a white man. And you're like, no, it's not! Like, I knew as a little kid, I was like, give me a break! Or what are you talking about? Male Pride Day in this email. He was just like saying, you can't be a white man these days. I just want to tell you, it's hard to be a white man. So this is an email I got after the most racist, sexist, cuntard, fuckhead, asshole, shitbag, fucker got elected. This is after he got elected. After the fucking white man won the Congress and the fucking House. To all my male friends who are tired of taking a backseat, that's in capital letters, to gays, lesbians, homosexuals, already stated, transgenders, women soldiers, oh my god, women soldiers? Women soldiers? You cunt fuck! What the fuck are you talking about? Women soldiers? Bra burners, female Boy Scouts, women livers, tree huggers, and eco-commie enviro freaks, the lonely left, Greens, and social justice warriors. This, and I don't know what it is. It's like some pictures or something that I can't see because it's on my phone. And I didn't check it on my... I got that email! It's 2017! The white man won! They're still mad. They still didn't have enough. They still didn't get enough. So, I mean, and I'm being real, and I'm not saying this is like to be like PC or whatever, because I don't feel like I am, because I like to joke around, and I like to joke around with the groups of people too. And I've always noticed for me that it's at least come across like, it's just come across well. I've never like gotten an argument with someone who just joked around, and I think like not talking about stuff is weird, and I think a little condescending, and I think it's condescending too to like be like, hey, what do black people think about that? It's like, what do you think about that? Like, you know what I mean? Whatever. I don't think anyone should have to like represent their group. And I'm not saying this to be PC, but I do. Yeah, whatever like the kids are saying, they're right. I mean, on some level, they're right. Like, there's like, to me, I feel like there's an aspect of it where it's weird because it's like, I feel like liberals treat gender the way that conservatives treat global warming, and that they like don't believe it exists and they just make up whatever the fuck they want about it. And I do feel that way. Like, I feel like there has to be some rules or kind of some science behind it, but maybe not. Maybe it's just like, hey, in this new world, whatever the fuck you want to be called, whenever the fuck you want to be called, it is what you should be called. I don't know. It seems to ask a lot out of like other people to know what you are all the time. If like there's been 2, 3 options forever. I mean, maybe I feel like I never ran it. I mean, I have like trans friends, like people that have like transitioned. And I don't even know if trans is the right word, because that seems like they've already transitioned. Is that maybe? I don't know. But whatever. I'm down to fucking learn and grow, and like I don't want to, you know, like that picture of Steve Buscemi when he's got the fucking skateboard and he's like, "What's up, fellow kids?" Like, or "What's up, fellow kids?" Yeah, I mean, they're right. What if they've been wrong? What if they've been wrong? They were right about gay people, about interracial marriage, about everything. And I'm like super pro-transgender, like people wanting to become males that are females or females to males, because I've like seen science, and I've like talked to like, shit, I can't think of her name, but she's an author. That's she came to like one of my classes, and we had like a dinner with her, and we talked to her, and she talked about her experience and how she was always a woman, and how like that sucked that she was born in a man's body, and it makes sense, and I support that. And if it sounds like I don't, or if I do, I don't totally understand being like, no, I'm not either one, or then there should be like 3 or 4 or 5. Like, we need to like figure this out. It can't just be the Wild West. What am I saying? I'm gonna just learn, and yeah, I mean, it's really hard because America's super conservative, like extremely fucking conservative, and it's just something that needs to be like recognized. You know why we're so conservative? Like, we don't have fucking universal healthcare. We're the only fucking nation that's a first world nation that doesn't have it, because we're just so... We've been getting fucked over forever, and it's just the way we like it, alright? Thanks for listening to the podcast. Y'all have a mighty fine day. Look, there it goes again, that damn noise, but that's alright.